You are tuned into a special player spotlight interview on the CS Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the CS Podcast presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible, bringing you the names that you need to know first since 2002. Visit NFLDraftBible.com. I am your host, Chris Shanafelt, and joining the show now for a player spotlight interview is 2016 NFL Draft prospect. He's Tani Tupou, the defensive lineman out of the University of Washington. And Tani, we appreciate you taking some time to jump on this evening. Can you believe that your collegiate career has come and gone, and now here you are training and getting ready for an opportunity at the professional level?
No, it's gone by so fast. You know, when you first get there, the seniors, they tell you to take it all in, and when you're a freshman, you just kind of wave it off. But next thing you know, 4 years go by like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really amazing, and I know that a few weeks ago, looking a little bit more into your career as a whole, Tani, you were able to go on down to Los Angeles and play in the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl, of course, one of the nation's top all-star games. And you are used to, playing in the Pac-12. You're used to playing against some of the top talent in the country. So it's nothing new to you. But everybody down there is, of course, on the verge of having a professional football career. What was that week like to compete against some of the top prospects in the country in front of NFL scouts for an entire week?
I thought, overall it was a good experience. I was really excited to go down there and blessed with the opportunity to go. I thought it was a good thing because, I got to go against top talent, not just from my conference, but, from all over the place. We had guys, from the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, schools. And it was just a good environment to showcase what I can do because, people – You get all different types of offenses and stuff and face all different type of people in the Pac-12, but to be able to showcase it in front of the NFL scouts and show that you can play with everyone was a good thing.
And by any chance, were you able to chat with any of those scouts down there, or maybe you were able to chat with a couple during your time at Washington? I mean, any idea what these pro scouts are saying about you, and have you gotten any feedback from any of the scouts?
I spoke with a lot of teams down there. Some of the ones that stuck out the most was the 49ers, the Jets, and the Rams. Those are all, some teams that are very interested. A lot of teams, they like my work ethic and like the way that I play the game. And, there's obviously, some things to improve on and work on, but I think overall, most teams are, they like me.
And that's got to be a pretty exciting feeling to know that the interest is there, especially when you're able to name quite a few teams there like you just did. What were some of the things that you had in your mind heading into that week in Los Angeles that you really wanted to show the scouts that week? I mean, was there any questions a part of your game that you wanted to answer? And, being a few weeks removed, do you feel that you did that?
I think one of the things that I wanted to show, I'm kind of looked at as an undersized defensive tackle. I played 4 I and 3 tech at Washington, and I'm about 6'2", 285. And so I really wanted to show the scouts there was that even though I may be undersized, with measurables, that I can still hang in there and throw my weight around, and that I'm able to take on the double teams and split them, and stay solid in there. I felt like I did a pretty good job throughout the week of doing that, being able to hold my ground, and just be disruptive inside, even though I'm considered to be undersized.
Right. And you know what? Obviously, when I think of undersized defensive linemen, defensive tackles specifically, the first name to come to mind is Aaron Donald of the now Los Angeles Rams, of course. And, he may not be the biggest guy, but that guy is sure strong as all hell. And you know what, Tanya, I know that you're pretty strong yourself, obviously, being able to play defensive tackle at the college level in a conference like the Pac-12. But I know that you won a couple of awards for your work in the weight room. I see in 2013 you won the Defensive Weightlifting Award, and then this past year you won the Iron Husky Award. Can you tell us how exactly those awards are won, and how many reps of 225 can we expect to see you hit come pro day?
Those awards are won by just being on time all the time for workouts, showing up every day, just being enthusiastic to work out, and then also just working out hard and making sure you leave everything over there and consistently putting up good weight and being strong. And as for pro day, I'm hoping to get somewhere up in the 40s. This past week we did a practice run, and I was able to hit 32. So I still got some time left.
Okay. All right. Hey, sounds great. I mean, even 32 is pretty damn impressive. But I mean, if you could get 40 or more, that will be something to see for sure. Minus the NFLPA Bowl, you mentioned it just earlier this week. You're putting in the work. Where exactly are you putting in this work at? Training for your pro day, and what are some of the things that your trainers are working on with you?
I'm currently training in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm at Traction Sports Performance, and I'm training with Mac Chiwili and Ryan Clark, the ESPN analyst, and also with Coach Pete Jenkins, the D-line guru. And so we've been doing a mixture of just like your basic stuff like the 40 L drill, 5-10-5, and then also we train for all those things for combine testing, but then we also do a lot of D-line specific things with Pete Jenkins.
Nice. Awesome. Sounds great. Once again, he is Tani Tupou, the defensive lineman out of the University of Washington, here on the CS podcast presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible, bringing you the names that you need to know first since 2002. Visit NFLDraftBible.com. And Tani, looking a little bit more into your Husky career, it wasn't until this past season when you became a full-time starter on that defensive line. You started all 13 games and recorded a career-high 37 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Now, it's not like you've never played before this past season. I mean, because the 2 seasons before you did play in all 27 games. But how was it to cap off your collegiate career with what was, like I said earlier, a career year for you?
It was awesome. These coaches that had came in, they had given me, kind of like a fresh start. And then, I just kind of waited my turn. I was blessed to play with, people like Danny Shelton, Haoli Kikaha, Shaq Thompson, and them, so those guys kind of, fulfilled the roles before. And, when it was my time, it was my time. And this past year, I just had to take that shot and make the best of my opportunity.
And you already mentioned it, my friend. It really does seem like year after year, Washington produces a ton of NFL studs, especially on that defensive side of the ball. Like you mentioned, Haoli Kikaha, Desmond Trufant a few years ago, Shaq Thompson, Marcus Peters, and Danny Shelton, who was actually on this show about a year ago. What has it been like to line up and wreak havoc with these now stars in the NFL? And by any chance, have you been able to keep up with any of those guys? And have they given you any advice as to what you should do throughout this process?
Yeah, I keep up with Haoli and Danny. We're all really close knit, especially that we're defense linemen and Polynesian, and I think. The best advice I've gotten from them is just to work hard and just do my thing. And Haoli always tells me too that size doesn't matter either. Just to go out there and just play your heart out.
Yeah, and obviously that's exactly what you were able to do over the past 4 years at Washington. Now, what would you say is your biggest strength as a defensive lineman, and what is something that you feel that you could work on to get better at?
I say my biggest strength as a defensive lineman is, I'd say, is playing the run really well. You know, I do a good job of splitting double teams and just being able to move around in there and create havoc. I'd say probably one of my things I need to work on would probably be my transition to pass rush. You know, playing during mixed downs.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Here's a question that I really like asking all the time, and most guys they can't necessarily single out one play, but let's say looking back 5-10 years from now, Tani, what will be the first play that pops into your mind? What would you say is the most memorable play that you've made, or most memorable play that you've been a part of over the last 4 years of yours at UW?
Oh man, that's hard. I don't know if I can say a play, but I could definitely say a game that will probably be the most memorable, and I think that would be this past year's Apple Cup.
Okay.
This past year's Apple Cup definitely would be a game that I'll always remember, just because Wazoo came in with their their record, a winning season, and everyone at UW, our motto was just to fight for our life, and we win this game and we'll get a bowl bid, and that was what we did. We just came out and we just had our backs against the wall and just kept swinging, and that'll always be, I'll always remember that, because it wasn't just myself; it was, all my brothers out there with me on that field. So.
Right, and of course, as you mentioned, you guys were able to go on to, you guys did get a bowl game bid, and you guys were able to win that bowl game, the Heart of Dallas Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, against Southern Miss in what was a pretty entertaining game. So all right, that Washington State and Washington rivalry still lives on, and I gotta say it's funny because I remember talking to Danny Shelton last year, and he also mentioned a game against Washington State. So it's certainly great to hear that. Nowadays we don't hear too much about big time rivalries or anything like that, but it's nice to see that the Washington State and Washington rivalry is still in full effect, and not only with the fans either, with the players as well. So that's awesome. Now we did talk about a few of your teammates, Tani, that you were able to play with over the last 4 years. How about opponents? I mean, who would you say is the single best player that you've had a game plan for and play against over the last 4 seasons?
I'd say Stanford's offensive line is as a unit, and also just an individual on there. Josh Garnett, he's a very stout player. He's a good guy. I'd say that he's a tough. They're a tough opponent to go against. And probably another one would be for a quarterback, probably be Vernon Adams. He's a playmaker. Definitely someone that you need to keep your eye on.
Yeah, for sure. I actually had the pleasure of seeing him live down at the East-West Shrine game, and that definitely a prospect I'm a fan of. And it's funny because I had Jeremiah Kosei on, another one of the USO Sports guys, just a couple days ago, and he also mentioned Vernon Adams Jr. as one of those guys that was always tough to go up against. Once again, he is Tani Tupou, the defensive lineman out of Washington, joining me here on the CS podcast presented by the NUC NFL Draft Bible as he gets set for the 2016 NFL Draft. And, Tani, when did you sit down and decide that you were really going to give this NFL thing a shot? I mean, I'm sure it's always been a dream, as it is for most football players that get the opportunity of playing the game at the college level. But when did you decide that you were going to give this thing all that you had?
like you said, yeah, it's always been a dream. But to tell you, like about 2 years ago, I never saw myself in this position. Maybe even a year ago, I kind of just had like, not really doubts, but just I never really saw myself here. I guess the way that I took this past season was to just take everything one step at a time. And so, I decided that starting in June that, I'll take workouts. And as soon as workouts are done, then I'll take on camp. And as soon as camp was done, and just go game by game. And it wasn't really until the ending of my season that, that it really hit me. And I was like, wow, all right, well, here's the next step. And let's go take it. And we'll just take it, step by step. And just see how it goes. And I'm here now.
Yeah, and it certainly looks like you took the right approach this past season. And your collegiate career has now officially been over for a few months now. Talk about the whole process of signing with an agent, Tani. What was it that piqued your interest about Aaron Gordon and Nuso Sports, and what did Aaron do to separate himself from the other agents that were showing interest in you?
First of all, I just loved, just type of guy that he is. He's a nice guy, very humble, and the second thing too is that he signed a lot of other Polynesian players, and so I felt at home right there. And then the other thing too is that he knows the culture and stuff really well, and so I figured go with him, and not only that, you get a gut feeling. And if you have a good gut feeling, then you go with it, And so Aaron's been awesome. He's been able to, take care of things for us, not just for me, but, for all the other guys too. And really a blessing, and I'm grateful that he's my agent.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll tell you what. I've said it once. I'll say it again. And I'm not really just saying this just to say it. I really truly feel this way. He has one heck of a draft class, one heck of a 2016 draft class with, of course, yourself. As I mentioned, Jeremiah Coste, O.J. Mao, Ammon Olsen, and quite a few others. And again, I really like how things are looking for you guys, being with Aaron Gordon and Nuso Sports, and of course your guys' future as you continue to work for that professional football career. Now, Tani, we're going to finish this interview with something that I like to call the 2-minute drill. Some of these questions will be football related, and some will be random questions, just about anything. You ready to knock some of these out?
Cool. Yep, I'm ready.
All right, we'll start off with something pretty easy. What would you say is your favorite TV show and movie?
My favorite TV show, Arrow, and movie is Tombstone. Okay.
Who would you say you model your game after?
Stephen Paya.
Okay, and of course we're in the Chicago area, so we were familiar with we are familiar with Stephen Paya. He spent 4 years here, and speaking of that bench press, man, he absolutely crushed his at the combine quite a few years ago. So not bad. Here's probably one of my favorite questions I'll ask. Let's say you get a clean hit on any quarterback currently playing or formerly playing in the NFL. Maybe they're retired. Who's that quarterback you're taking out? Or I'll put it in nicer terms. Who's that quarterback you're going to lay a hit on?
Man. I'd probably say Tom Brady. I would love to hit Tom Brady.
Hey, arguably the best quarterback. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, just because he's the best quarterback, and one of my best friends he's a huge Patriots fan, so that'd be cool to say that I sacked Tom Brady.
Yeah, there you go. Finish the sentence if you could. If it wasn't for football.
If it wasn't for football, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't have a college degree, and I wouldn't be in Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm. And final question for you, Tani. Your time has been greatly appreciated. Let's say we got all 32 NFL general managers listening to this very interview. Why should one of them take a chance on the defensive tackle, the defensive lineman out of the University of Washington, Tani Tupou?
Because one, I'm a hard worker. Two, I always be on time, and I always show up with a great attitude no matter what. And there's only one way you can go, and that's up from here. I faced adversity and overcome it, and I'm that guy. I'm your guy.
I like it. Hey, man, well, keep up the great work. Congratulations on all the success thus far. Being able to, first off, completing a pretty nice collegiate career at the University of Washington. And, of course, being able to participate in a college football all-star game like the NFLPA Bowl. And now here you are working and, training for that pro day of yours. And I'm certainly wishing you all the best as you continue to get ready for the 2016 NFL Draft.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm blessed to be on this show. Thank you.